Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Gay Travel for the Rest of Us. I'm your host Scott with Rainbow Getaways, and each week I bring to you the latest travel headlines in one place, and I bring them to you all from the perspective of a gay man who does not fit into the typical gay stereotype. This week, we've seen a lot of great news coming out of the travel world. We'll start out with the continuing saga of the CDC and cruising. The CDC has finally announced that they will consider allowing cruise ships to sail by late July. This is a monumental change given the fact that just a few weeks ago, they published an article saying that they were not going to change their conditional sail order, which expired in October. We do not yet have solid details about when cruising will resume this summer and out of what ports it will happen from, but this is a great move for the cruise industry and gets people back to work in a post-COVID world. Speaking of a post-COVID world, Delta Airlines expects business travel to resume sometime towards the end of this year. Leisure travel has slowly beginning to pick up as people have gotten tired of sitting at home, isolated, and working from the same couch day after day. But business travel has been a little slower to start bouncing back simply because now that we have Zoom and all the other options that are out there for video chatting, it makes business travel a little less important. There's still something to be said for business travel to fly across the country to meet a brand new client or to host an event in various cities so that potential clients and customers can find you. With that being said, Delta has started to work out new Wi-Fi for their flights. A few years ago, they did test out free Wi-Fi on all their flights. This is not an extension of that. Instead, is an update to the services that they already provide to provide faster service that's also more consistent. As a Delta customer, I really do appreciate this effort because there's been many times where I've connected to their Wi-Fi only to have it be too slow to actually be functional, especially if I'm trying to message on their free plan. It doesn't always go through if my phone tries to connect at the wrong moment, and then my phone has issues for the rest of the flight. So a nice update to their Wi-Fi services is definitely needed, and I appreciate it. If you're one of the millions of Americans who has not yet updated their ID to comply with the Real ID Act, that deadline has been pushed back to May 2023 because of COVID. If you recall, the original deadline was early 2020, which was pushed back to October of 2021, and now we have a full year and a half before we will see the final effects of this bill. What this means is if you do not have a Real ID or see a star on your driver's license, you will not be able to board a domestic flight or use that identification for anything that the federal government needs. If you haven't yet gotten yours, it's pretty painless. Just go to the DMV when you renew or go in and ask for a new ID and they'll help you get set up with that. There has been a lot of great information coming from Disney over the last week. We saw Disneyland open up for the first time in over a year, with tears of joy coming from cast members and guests alike as they walked down Main Street, USA. And in the cruise line industry, Disney has released more details about their fifth ship, the Disney Wish. The Disney Wish will be sailing out of Florida in 2022, with their first sailing starting in June of that year. The exciting parts of this is that they've improved a lot of the features that people love about the cruise line and made great updates to the things that people kind of disliked. One of my biggest pet peeves about the Disney ships is that the Quiet Cove adult pool area was at the front, right next to the forward elevators. This meant that kids staying in concierge or anyone else that was wandering up through that forward elevator bank would have to walk through this area that's exclusively for adults. Cast members and crew do typically make sure that the kids keep moving and don't stop, but this is a little disheartening given the fact that they sell it as a adult-only space. On the Disney Wish, this has been greatly improved as the space has been moved all the way to the aft of the ship, with an infinity pool and its own private bar for everyone to relax child-free. If you consider taking a Disney cruise without children, and are wondering if it's even worth it, I did post a brand new blog article about sailing child-free on a Disney cruise. If you haven't yet checked it out, head over to rainbowgetaways.blog and look for the most recent post. Another exciting update from Disney is that they are relaunching the Disney College Program. This is an internship that's available to college-age students to intern in various positions on Disney World's property. Typically, college program cast members are doing a lot of behind-the-scenes and guest-facing positions, which give them a great opportunity to learn a lot about customer service, operations, retail management, and every other industry that Disney touches. They originally suspended the college program indefinitely due to COVID, and seeing it coming back this summer is a great indication that Disney expects things to pick up a lot faster than what they originally anticipated. Moving over to the LGBTQ world, Pride celebrations are starting to be planned in person around the world for this year. This is something that we weren't entirely sure if was going to actually happen this year, and it's another sign that the travel industry is starting to rebound and people are wanting to get out of their house. If you are thinking about traveling for Pride this year and want to go to a new festival that you haven't been to, schedule a consultation and we can talk about where you want to go and what you want to do, and I'll be happy to pull something together for you. Sticking with the Pride topic, President Biden has allowed all U.S. embassies to fly the rainbow flag in celebration in June. This is in direct contrast to the orders issued by the former president, who outright banned the use of this flag on federal property. I'm very excited to see that we are seeing a lot of great changes coming from this administration. I do typically try to keep politics out of this channel as much as I can, but when it comes to celebrating Pride, there's not much that I can do to hold that back, simply because it impacts our lives at such a deep level. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Gay Travel for the Rest of Us by Rainbow Getaways. If you're interested in doing a cruise in January of 2022, sign up for the first annual Bears Getaway Cruise for Charity. $50 of every cabin will be going to the center of Orlando. We're going to have a great time with a group of bears and other allies. If you haven't checked it out yet, head over to bearsgetaway.com or schedule a consultation with me to hear more about it. Until next time, everyone, remember to keep it happy, keep it classy, and keep it gay.